As someone that has studied international business, has worked in the financial industry, has set up businesses of my own, and has worked in various industries, one of the main things that I have found out and has been a pleasure to find out is my bad money habits. My bad habits that were keeping me poor, broke, financially behind, even though I was working extremely hard and very successful in what I was doing. So in this video, I'm going to be discussing some of the potential habits that you may have or I had that were keeping me broke, and some of the tips that you could use in order for you to overcome these bad habits. The first bad habit is paying yourself last. And I first heard about this particular frame from the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. And in this book, he talks about the two different types of dads, so rich dad and a poor dad, and how they have different habits on how they spend, save, or deal with their finances. So he breaks it down to two. So he says the poor people tend to pay themselves last. And what does that look like? That looks like paying your bills, paying for expenses, paying for petrol, paying for everything, and then what is left or is remaining is then what is yours. But he says that rich people pay themselves first and then pay the bills and pay every other thing that demands your life's attention. So what does this look like? This will look like, for example, from your paycheck, taking at least 10% of your paycheck and then putting that aside for saving or investment. What does this do? This then leaves space for you to actually have money from your savings or something to save from your money. Whereas if you don't do that, what tends to happen is you've paid for everything else and then you're left with nothing to actually save for tomorrow or invest for tomorrow. But you may be thinking, what if I don't have enough after I've taken out the 10% because I live paycheck to paycheck? But what tends to happen is that you tend to have more, or you tend to find a way to actually pay for whatever's missing from the bills. And when people say this, and I used to do it myself anyway, I'm not going to just blame you guys. When I used to do this, what would happen was that I probably would have had £100 to put aside, but I wasn't calculating how much I was spending on the takeaways. I wasn't spending how much I was spending on clothes. I wasn't spending how much I was spending on everything else. So what this did for me was that when I put 10% away, whatever was left behind, I budgeted accordingly to make sure that my bills were covered and put some money aside for myself. And this does take discipline and take some skills and some time to be confident in doing it and continuously doing it, but it is a game changer. Second one is living above your means. And what does this mean? This means that technically you spend more than you earn. So if you have to dip into your savings to buy something, dip into an overdraft to buy something, or have to use a credit card to buy something that you would have usually done with cash, then that is a sign that you're living above your means. And this tends to be an issue because 51% of UK adults are in debt and worried about paying it off. And these feelings are most consistent among 25 to 33-year-olds, with 2/3 of them actually being concerned about their finances. This is something that we're not alone in, but you need to be uncomfortable with spending above your means. So this looks like covering all bases and having a budget for everything. And if once that budget is run out, then that is it. And most of the things that we spend money on these days tend to be minor things that we technically don't need or we could wait to purchase. So you want to just be less reliant on credit cards, overdrafts and stuff like that to buy something, because that is a sign that you actually cannot afford it. The third bad habit is not tracking your income and expenses. And many individuals are not aware of how much they earn and spend. And this could lead to a lot of financial disorganization and a poor money management habit. And this is something that you do not want to do. And if you're not new to my channel, I am big on this budgeting. Budgeting is a solution you need to have in order for you to understand your income and your expenditure so you can be aware of where you are financially. Until you do this, you are just wishing and hoping that things happen for you and you will have savings and you would have all this other stuff. If you are not tracking and monitoring your expenditure, most of the goals that you have may not come to fruition. I don't know why I use that big language. May not come to pass. Number 4 is being comfortable with consumer debt. So according to Money Charity UK, at the end of June 2023, the outstanding consumer credit lending was at £215.2 billion, increasing by 1.3 billion on the revised total for the previous month and 12.1 billion more than June 2022. So we tend to be very, very reliant on consumer debt, such as credit cards, debts, payday loans, to finance the lifestyle or immediate desires. And right now, people are spending money on just minor things. And there was a video that I did in regards to, the buy now, pay later kind of thing that's going on, where people are purchasing, dresses of Pretty Little Things. And if you have to do that, and the key word here is have to, as in you have to use the pay now, pay later because you have no other means of getting that dress, then that is a sign that you cannot afford it and you're living above your means and you're too comfortable with consumer debt, bad debt. So the problem with this is that there are high interest rates, especially with consumer debt, which means technically that you're eroding your money, or like you're losing more money over time just to consume something just for immediate gratification. So we really need to be conscious of these things because it's putting us back financially. And if you're very comfortable with it, if you're trying to save like X amount and then you're spending X amount on clothing and stuff with an extra interest on top, which means it's costing you more to have that item, you're then, digging into your savings or potential money that could have gone towards your saving and your financial goals, which is then technically keeping you back from actually going ahead financially. So that is definitely a habit that you need to be uncomfortable with. The technical, like back in the days, just being comfortable with going into overdraft to buy trainers or to get something quickly and stuff like that. If you don't use it for what it's there for, just quick emergencies to put money back in straight away, and you're reliant on those things, then it's just going to put you back financially and you're not going to be in a good position. So if that sounds like you, that is one habit that you're going to want to work on, not being too comfortable with getting into debt to get what you want. Number 5 is not investing. And many people avoid investing because of the lack of knowledge, potentially the fear and the misconception that investing is only for the wealthy people. However, this is not the case, and many of us are missing out on the opportunities that investing can give by building your money, allowing your money to work for you, building passive income streams, and actually the increase of your overall net worth. And this is done, and the power of investing is literally through compounding effect of you just putting in a small amount of money, 25%, and it's constantly working for you behind closed doors through putting money in, let's say, for example, ETFs, putting money in ETFs that can allow your money to grow over time, index funds, all this kind of stuff. So for example, many people that are introducing beginners will use stuff like SP500, so ETFs like SP500 with an average interest rate of 7%, and that is then allowing your money to grow at 7% over time. And the longer you do this, the more money you allow yourself to grow into and to build your net worth. And if you are investing in stocks and ETFs that provide dividends, that means you're also getting money on your money, which then allows that money to then go back into the pot for interest to also be put on that, which then allows you to accumulate a lot more money over time with less work and energy coming from yourself. And if you are interested in those kind of things, please drop a comment down below so I can do a video on investing and how to get started and how to actually get into that. Another example of investing can be real estate, properties, and for those that follow me on socials, you know that I'm also quite big on that. So investing into properties for investment purposes, where you can put tenants in the property, which gives you rental income, but also your actual property itself as an asset will increase in value over the years, and that can build equity, which overall will increase your net worth just as much as stocks and shares. And number 6 is not believing that money is important. And many of us downplay the importance of money and prioritize other things like personal fulfillment and immediate gratification in regards to food and other things. And we really downplay the importance of money. Although money may not be the sole source of happiness, it does provide financial security, it does provide opportunities, and it gives us the time back that we need. So the more money you have, the more money you can use to create opportunities, to create memories, and to just buy back your time. And mainly people that want to buy back their time understand that time is the real asset here. You don't get more of time, right? You actually don't get more of time. You can get more money, but you won't get more time. And the more money you have, the opportunities that you have to actually purchase back your time and spend more time on you. And I went through an experience where I kind of understood this, where I went to Chesington with my family, and the fast track was, you paid £100 for it, and the normal ticket was £35, right? And if you have more money, you understand that time is the real asset, and then you're gonna spend on the fast track, right? Why? Because fast track allows you to spend more time on the actual activities than in the queue. Okay, and that is the difference, right? Because if you're on fast track, you get into the ride before everybody else, and then you get to enjoy the experience of the theme park, and you get to go on more rides in the theme park than anybody else, because everybody else is in the queue for 45 minutes to enjoy a ride that's only 2 minutes, and they won't be able to go on every ride, or else they'll be there until God knows when. So that is the importance of money, understanding that you need it in order for you to buy back your time so that you can be busy creating memories and enjoying the luxuries of life rather than working for it because you've ignored the importance of it. So I hope that these 6 habits have made sense to you, and that you understand what you may have to do to change those habits. And if you can relate to any of those, please drop that in the comment section below. And I would love for you guys to subscribe and like and comment on this video. And if there's anything else you want me to talk about on my channel, please do comment below. And if not, that is me. I'm Miss Bree, and I believe that financial freedom is attainable for everybody. So if you enjoy content around self-development, money, and properties, then this is the channel for you. So please continue to subscribe and click on the notification button so you are aware when I drop the next video. Peace, and see you in the next one.